To me, but you're muted.
I was talking to you. I'm not muted. You're muted. Unmute yourself. We're live.
You're muted.
No, I'm not. Turn your sound up. My sound is on. That much I do know. Now you can hear me. Fix your sound.
I know you can hear me, don't it?
Yeah, I can hear you. If you
I
can't
not hear
hear
nothing
me,
you're saying.
if you can't hear me, type in
I
the
don't
comments. I'm sure Carrie says she rock. I know someone can't hear me. Hello, somebody out there. See a heart, so somebody can't hear me. Good evening. Well, Carrie, come out and come back in then. Now you went to mute yourself. Lorna can hear. Unmute yourself. All right, I'm going to kick you, and then you're going to come back in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is MsBJPeart. I may have some sort of bees in my bonnet this evening. So, good evening, Lorna. So, the best thing I can do is when I have a bee in my bonnet is to find specialists about the topic so I can be further informed. Coming back in when she done click, bam, is
I'm
one
hearing you
of
now.
Jamaica's favorite teachers. Miss, her name long the backside, you know. Perry and back as I can say. At this particular moment, let me take myself off for the whatever I'm bigger up for just a hot second. With the front piece there. Me have to lick that one there. You see that woman here, so me tell on about that woman here, so. When Trump come within Wara Wara and in Kuru Kuru, my girl and family pack up and had to return to Jamaica after educating children here in South Carolina and before that Trinidad and Tobago. When she was a young teacher out of Sharpwood College, but not them did it. She did apply to a company, but them say, you know what, it wasn't time. And then she got to Trinidad and Tobago, and then she go far and further and go America and teach Pitney. And then Trump sent her ass back home. But when the cream rise to the crop, oh, Jamaica educational system, she never did one left yard, but she got gain experience abroad, and she come back serving it up well. Good evening, teacher. Me I wait for the next one. Me don't know which part she there. But that the one
Hi, Miss Brenda.
How you doing, darling?
I am doing well, Miss Brenda. Hello, everybody out there.
I will teach her this enough we teach her. And if you don't remember, she Una didn't know, Una didn't think it was just a little surprise visit to Charleston. But at that time she was making her exit and heading back to Jamaica. Now I have to ask a question because hold on there.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Good evening. Now we are at South Carolina. See Canada down there, so and see Jamaica over there. So what do they have in common? Working women. What do they have in common? Educators. What do they have in common? Them little people there, so because she have one behind her right there, so too. See them there? It's a family night right here. Ladies, children, each of you have these experiences of having been in Jamaica during the time of the pandemic. Some go cause government push back and say along, and the next one go and lock down. So everyone has a different version of being locked down. Please, I need you to give first-hand experiences because some koro are going in the ear. Are people in Jamaica eating? Are people in Jamaica thriving? Is everybody dying for that? Talk to me. What's really going on? Pardon me, I introduced Nadine before. I introduced Carol before. This is Miss Nadine. I want to say hello. Those of you who followed the pictures, did you remember somebody walked through Nadine yard and walked from tree to tree to tree to tree to tree and yam way through the yard? Clarendon, big up yourself. Now, Carrie, and I'm trying to figure out how to shift my way out of here so the two on get to have whatever's, and I'm gonna have to do whatever. How can I do this? I'm gonna get it right sooner or later. I actually wanted the two of them to meet on the island. Okay, Joanne Bailey says people in Jamaica are not thriving. So tell me, what did you see? What are you experiencing? Nadine, you just come up when? How long since you come up?
What, 3 weeks ago or something like that?
Okay, and you were where in Jamaica?
Is it about 3 weeks?
Okay, and you were down in Clarendon?
Yes.
So you never there tone. All right.
No,
Carrie.
not country. What I'm going to say.
Okay, you there country. Carrie, you did that town.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been there for quite a minute.
Quite a minute.
You reached back to Jamaica last October.
Yes.
Okay. Nadine, when you reach Jamaica?
December.
All right, ladies, go. Talk about your experiences. Never try and move myself out of the way.
Nadine, you can open the floor.
All right. So my experience being in Jamaica, first of all, living in Canada, when I went to Jamaica, it was like a relief because being in quarantine in Canada, you can't go anywhere. It's boring. Yet still you can go around in Jamaica in your yard and you pick a fruit or something, you know. The other thing is that although we have curfew in Jamaica, you are able to move about and do your daily stuff, keeping in mind that you have a time to work with, right? So to me, persons weren't that stressed, like unlike here where everything is a partial lockdown. You can't get socks to buy, you can't get clothes to buy, only essential, which is food, right? And I thought that was breathtaking for me alone because having a child, and you know, then grow clothes fast. And imagine you can't go to Walmart, go buy clothes because everything tape off. You understand? So people in Jamaica are striving because you still can go to a store, go buy your clothes. You still can go to the market and go do whatever you need to do.
Is Canada still that locked down?
Well, yes. We started up stage 1 last Friday. This Wednesday we're going into stage 2.
What is that?
Where the malls can open fully.
Okay.
Okay, so since I've been back, my favorite place to go is to the beach, Negril. And when I came back, I hear no beaches open, no rivers, nothing like that. And then our Prime Minister flew the gates about 3 weeks, so 3 weeks ago. So our beaches are now open back, so we're able to go to the beach. And I enjoyed myself at YS Falls for the first time. I went to YS Falls and I enjoyed that so much.
I like it there. Yeah.
And just like what you're saying, Nadine, it's open. We're still open. It's not like other Caribbean islands like Trinidad that's still locked down. Kids haven't been back to school since last year. Yes, since I've been here, they tried going back to school face to face, but it didn't work. But you do have, I think it's like the exam group. Those who are doing exams, they're actually in school. So you do have them in school. But for the most part, it's been online here in Jamaica right now. But then I also hear that we're going to be opening up back a next phase next week. So we're going to be having more entertainment. I'm just praying that we will obey the rules and wear our mask and sanitize and do whatever we need to do to keep ourselves safe.
Yeah, but a big controversy about that one day, for International Reggae Day. A big controversy because here's the deal. It's the government that's having that July 1 event. And that's pissing off all of everybody else. Got them say, wait a second. Ona never really even bother talk to the entertainment sector so we can be involved in that. Ona just take it upon themselves. The same government.
Oh, yes, they want to launch that day. As international, yeah.
But you have to remember that at the same time, we're pushing for for reggae to be recognized by UNESCO. So certain things have
My
to happen. No, I want to. Somebody said I just got back last week. Had the opportunity to visit the country as well as Kingston. I see firsthand that people are hurting. Technology is not readily accessible for children for online schooling. Okay, you can still go to the store and buy clothes and food, but where are they getting the money for the food and the clothes? What is it? So many talk to I don't have jobs. There's a small percentage of Jamaica who is thriving, but the vast majority of the people are having it very difficult. So, I see. So I saw people going to work every single day. Okay, I see taxi are on every single day. I see bus are on every single day. So somebody will move around somewhere.
somebody's
The
going on.
hours that people were allowed to be open in terms of businesses. Now I was there from December until May. All right. But still see man have installed a roadside. You just shift your hours.
Mm-hmm.
Those who couldn't do initially, like Soupy, and she's here somewhere. Soupy said, "Boy, Brenda, when him said at 12 o'clock thing, I can't bother." So what Soupy do? That day there, she gets her hair done and she gets her feet done. That means that two other people I get paid money. Because otherwise Soupy would have been out there doing her thing. We just shifting around how the money go. It's not that it's still not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been down in the breadbasket where I've been that stretch from Clarendon through to St. Elizabeth, where all you see is market truck.
You are correct.
Somebody had to do something. Because
But my
no
family,
market without a sale.
my family in Upper Clarendon, they are farmers, right? And they were all doing their stuff, and they had to reap their stuff to make sure it is sent to the market and stuff. And persons, of course, persons. You have the supermarket cashiers; they are going to work. You have the gas attendants; they were going to work. You have
Boy,
everybody going to work. You just
I
have to
hear you.
adjust your time.
I'm trying to remember, was there I think it's one station, one we came across where, okay, you could use your card because there was no gas attendant. And then you flip back to lifestyle here, like gas attendant what? You know, get no gas without 2 or 3 people to handle your situation. All those people are consistently making money.
Mm-hmm.
And them that done when the curfew done, because they're still allowed to be open hours after. Now the nut shop, when you come out of the airport, okay, her hours may have diminished, but by the time I was leaving, she was back in full fledged. So we keep getting these different stories for. It's not even say different stories for different people. I saw people do what they had to do around the world, which was shift and
Yep.
to do what they had to do. And we already know that no
Everybody's
one
situation is
Jamaican have
different.
one job.
We're hustlers.
You know, so sometimes when I'm hearing, who are you talking to? Because the 18 and 19-year-old them are coming from country. Well, what is considered country? Big up Rambo, big up Minto. When them come from them place down there, them guys that work construction. Because enough house are built at Jamaica right now. Enough building are go up. Because those who know say what? When the time open up, you have to be ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know no 1 or 2 people that sit on their backside.
Jamaicans are not lazy people either. Jamaicans are not lazy. Jamaicans are working. That's what I can tell you. And if it's down to the guys who are wiping the windshield, they are working. I've never seen but I don't even know. They say if you're lazy, you're not Jamaican because we're always working. We're always trying to find ways to improve ourselves to see how we can make it. They say they're hustlers. I see
I
people
to take
opening
you
up
how
different
long
things all over the place.
from the time you come back. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Because you still working towards Nadine, which final degree you working towards?
Well, I'm doing my undergrad right now.
No, pardon me a second. Of course, there's always people in Jamaica that need help.
Of
And yes,
course.
I saw that.
Of
Come
course.
on. But them same people are the same one who show up for yard work. Them same people are the same one that will part. Have you seen the A4? The A4 is not cut by lawnmower. The A4 is cut by men and women. Them out there cut the A4. The first set of them was still cutting the A4 with machete. Then finally start cut the A4 with weed whacker, and then the next set of crew come in and bag it up. So, work is still happening. What you said, not enough of Jamaica is thriving.
Over the entire world, being here in Canada, there are persons here that are struggling just the same. They're struggling. So Jamaica is not immune. And Jamaicans, if they used to sell something and they say, for example, let's take the 12 o'clock on a Saturday that the curfew had started. So you find that person shifted to make a money because guess what? Me can't sell so late, go early. One morning, 6 or 7 o'clock, I see a lady get up and I was on the taxi and somebody said, well, you go so early. She said, well, I forgot early if you sell the mask then because at 12 o'clock a curfew. So people shift their minds. I think we changed, us Jamaicans. We have, the entire human race just have problem with change.
Yo, down to the strip club, them at Jamaica changed them hours because of the curfew. So don't think I'm sitting here when you're going to prepare. And when she said, ladies, don't think you have to agree with Brenda because it's on my show. This is not a show. These are women who me know. These are women who we talk all the time.
All the time. We talk all the time.
Me can't go call them on a minute's notice, so me just put out the something so me feel like to go up on live. Me call she because she a work on fair degree. Me call she because she worked through the degree. She's a Jamaican where them wouldn't hire when she young and she have to go foreign to go gain her tracks and come back and now she a work a yard. This is what the two of them have children the same age whose educational careers were disrupted by what nationalistic politics and the pandemic. So don't sit up here and think some gonna find people who agree with me. Me don't agree with me.
No.
It's independent woman. And because they do what? Live in different sectors. My lady come home to parents. So all when I say, boy, me can't see her. Me can't see her. Me see her on WhatsApp. Because we're in the midst of a pandemic and she have elderly parents.
Couldn't come out of the house. Yep.
What no. When up there for kiss and please, my dear. That is none of the life. None of the life. Me no sweet stuff. And none of them no sweet stuff. The educators. So when they're talking about this effect, and like one woman said, oh no, well, the education is disrupted for at least the next year and a half. All right, we have been through hurricanes and earthquakes. How is the education impacted? You're in the system, you're easing in the system. How is the Jamaican educational system or the overall educational system globally? How are these children impacted and how are they going to make a step further?
Education will and is being impacted. Let me take it from the early childhood sector part of it, seeing that I have a preschooler, right? What we call a basic school child in Jamaica. Now, if for a sudden shift from brick and mortar, what we call face-to-face learning, into a virtual space, a 3-year-old can't anger that. A 4-year-old can't anger that. The temper tantrum, first of all, if they come sit in front of the computer, they want to talk to everybody and their attention span. Kids learn through play. Kids learn through interaction. You see, kids who born in the pandemic here, we are going to have a problem as early childhood educators because your facial recognition, that social aspect, that cognitive aspect of it, we are going to have problems because the mask on the face, if their parents have to leave them somewhere, how are they going to recognize that I am sad? How are they going to recognize if they don't understand, oh, my eye open wide, I'm excited? You understand what I mean? It is impacted because you have us Jamaicans that with the sudden shift and yes, there are kids in Jamaica that still don't have a device in their hand to do their work. A perfect example of that little 14-year-old doing his schoolwork but trying to help other kids because he see the need and nobody never push him. But guess what? Him that use up here so and say, no, let me go help somebody else. The education is impacted. With the social aspect is going to be a problem. It's when they go back in that classroom.
Wow.
Especially like my little one. Thank God I was in Jamaica because I was able to send her to school. So she was grasping. You understand what I mean? She gained that. Here, I'm trying to put her in a virtual and she is not working. It is impacted. And guess what? Not just the kid. It's impacting the parents too because these kids are born in technology years. Is the technology age that we are in. When your child all of a sudden there's a certain shift in their behavior, what is it? We're not thinking about it because guess what? The constant being on the device and technology constantly, it is going to change their mood, their attitude. No, you usually play so all of a sudden. No, they're now they play by themselves. They're not doing associative play. You understand? So there are a lot of things that we have to go work on as educators going back. It's in it, and guess what? The entire world. Because I even just to interject here, I just planning an Zoom meeting for some students at Denby High School. Parents, because some of the parents, they're still impacted by the technology, what is going on. How are you parenting in this digital age? You have your kids coming from primary school to high school. Is it that teenage years behavior or is it a technology age behavior? How can we differentiate? How are their mental aspect? How is their mental health? You understand what I'm saying?
Socializing differently.
Mark you, technology is not all bad, but it's how we use it. And as parents, how are we monitoring them? Is it 20 minutes here, interval, 20 minutes there, and we can't do 20 minutes because they have to be on there for school. Over to you, Kerry.
Wow, the pandemic, I mean, it shifted everything in everybody. It's something where nobody ever thought that this would happen. The whole country shut down one day. I remember March, that weekend there. My birthday weekend, the 14th, they said, shut down. I'm like, shut down what? What was going on?
I remember mine was the Monday, okay? You got the Saturday. Mine was the Monday.
I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm teaching 3-year-olds. I was teaching 3-year-olds last year. What am I going to do with the 3-year-olds? We're just told to prepare packages for them. So I try to make it as entertaining and exciting as possible. There's so much and no more you can do with packages for 3-year-olds. So I had to have like a little group with my parents where I send them text messages and tell them different activities they could do with the kids during the day, keep them active, keep them busy and all those things. Because just doing a worksheet and coloring is just not it for the kids. Like Nadine was talking about learning through play. I had to tell them. So some parents would start like baking with the kids. I had to do that with my daughter. We started baking, we started cooking. She reading ingredients on the box and stuff like that. But not a lot of parents do those things with the children. So I had to be encouraging them. These are things you have to do now because right now, as how we're looking, none of us have ever seen this before. We're going to be the teachers at home now. So we have to be more active and play an integral part in the kids' lives. So that's basically what I had to be doing last year, coming home, doing the same thing, homeschooling, teaching her every day, until I got her into a program where she could be online. She's now 5. So she has the ability to sit still a little bit more to listen to a half-an-hour session, which is very fun and interactive. And I enjoy sessions too. So you must know, very fun and interactive with her. But I have support, and that's the good thing because I don't know how. Last year I tried to figure out how these parents were managing staying home, not working. I have support. I have to thank God for my family because now that I am out there in the field working, I have my parents here who are in school with her every day. So everything shifts. The whole thing shifts. You have to try and find means and ways of how you're gonna do this. I know persons who actually go to work and take the kids with them and have them in like a little room or something, and every minute they go over there and monitor them from time to time. Or persons find like nannies or like university students to stay home with the children while they go to school. But everything has shifted. And even from last year, some people still have not recovered in terms of they still haven't gotten a job, and I don't know how they do it. No, when that lady was saying that Jamaicans are not striving, it's not true. Things are going on here. It might not be as fast as we want it to happen, but things are happening. They're creating jobs. Yesterday I saw advertisement for was it one of the what you call like Sutherland, what you call it, the call centers. They have jobs.
Mm.
There are jobs there, and the jobs are actually working from home. So you don't even have to leave home for a lot of these jobs that they're now offering because they're looking at it's a pandemic.
And
What
then we
happened
get the
for
computer
September?
and
We
the
get to go back
internet
to school.
service.
What's gonna happen again? So we have to start planning and thinking ahead and all these things. Yes, there are people who really don't have it, but there are also people who are here in Jamaica who are Jamaicans are one of the kindest set of persons I've ever met.
I give you a
Me, we're not a
story.
Jamaican, and we try our best to help as many persons as we can. Yes, like Nadine said, you are going to find people here struggling. It is everywhere. I've seen it in the States. I've seen it.
Oh,
People
and you
they
and
are
you
struggling.
was where you was.
So Jamaica, we're doing well as Jamaicans. Yes, I mean people have it hard, and like you're saying with the education sector now, a lot of them still don't have access to the devices that they need. But if you've been reading the news and listening to what's going on, the diaspora, and that's why I'm a part of them, even though I'm not there in, but yes, they have been doing a lot for the country in terms of education. They have sent down a lot of computers and laptops since last week. Again, I think
Yep.
this is like the second batch they have sent now.
And more to
I'm
come.
trying to get the internet like stable, more stable here and stuff. I think that we're doing what we can with what we have right now. Yes, sometimes I get mad too and I cuss and I said this Jamaica was supposed to be maybe a little bit further than where we are now, but everything takes time. Everything takes time and we're growing. So
Rural South Carolina ain't got some of the broadband that places got because
I know
check this
people were
out.
asking for
At
the
the
hotspot in schools. They didn't have any internet at home. I'm
at
like,
the
how come you
beginning
don't
of
have
the
internet at
pandemic,
home when we in Jamaica? A lot of us have internet at our homes. And these parents said, no, they can't afford it.
when
Like,
when
you can't
everything
afford it.
first started, I remember there was a group out in Erie Castle where them still have try run everything by phone. Fast forward a year, for them Wi-Fi up and running, and that's dung in out of bush. So those who, but enough eat you at the apple cell. You know what I'm saying? Y'all,
In this season, Miss Brenda, we have to change our mindset. It's all about our mindset. Because we just never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. We don't know what's gonna happen for September with school. See, they're having the summer school program that they want to implement and all these different things because we know that the kids are not where they're supposed to be or where we want them to be. But we just have to try and work with the
no,
system
what
right
is this?
now.
She said
No,
because if hang on, she said because if we listen to you all, nobody needs help and they're all doing well. There's always going to be sectors of every community everywhere that needs help. That's a given. That's why you have the domestic violence centers that are finally being recognized and being built so women have shelters where they can begin to have their lives whole again. Once those are in place, trust me, whole family dynamics will change when you're able to get women out of dangerous situations. How many murders have we looked at across the board, across the diaspora, but in Jamaica especially, that were spousal related? Because these women had no place to go to. Society is intertwined. If I'm getting my ass busted every day, I really can't go out on somebody's job because I'm going to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at the dynamics of the mindset. Who do I leave my children with? When we look at some of the family dynamics, there always used to be somebody who could mind the children. Now, where are those people? They're in the UK, they're in Canada, they're in Russia, they're in China, they're everywhere. It's because the dynamics of things are changing. I'm not saying everything is 100% and great, but as you remember throughout the resilient corridor, even if it wasn't 100% working, it was still a lot working. Now, independent tour guides like my friend from Lola Fun Tours Jamaica, because she's not part of a larger agency. No, she's suffering. So now sit up here and talk about something. I'm gonna make it feel like say everything in Jamaica perfect. It's not. Everything ain't perfect in Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, right now they got a situation where people ain't going back to these damn jobs because they were being paid slave wages before, and right now the local money where they might get for unemployment I do. But what does South Carolina do? They say, yo, y'all keep your federal money because we're going to make them go back and take these jobs. We're going to starve them out. So don't sit up here and think some me a sugarcoat nothing. When me down there for 5 months, I know nobody resort me there. But make sure some of them with the youth them which school you go to? Adatina, where you want to further? Yeah, me to finish school, but me have the money for CXC. But you never know about the CXC scholarship thing. But I couldn't make that either. All right, so what do they have left to do? Become day laborers. But I'm seeing squads of young men, 4 or 5 young men, even one of them with a car with them a hold together by a rubber band. Them show up every blasted morning by 7:30. For go up na them hill there for help build them house there. Somebody I eat somewhere, them na live a town and a town them come from, a country them come from. The next one in working money get a little bike and for ride go up so up a ramble. Me travel go up a ramble or up a some way and whatever bush. And me ride up on bike for go work every day. And a journalist who the water them flood out and the road them flood out, but they must wait for big highway to come. So don't tell me that I'm not in touch with reality in Jamaica. That's why I'm a fast on Walk Street.
Jamaica, I mean,
Walk Street.
I mean, as one person said, there is no opportunity in Jamaica. We all know that we would love to do with a little bit more opportunity or a lot more opportunities. I always say, because I live in Canada, if Canadians could give Jamaica just a percentage of what they have, Jamaica would be a force to be reckoned with. No, opportunities, yes, because if opportunity there, me you know that Canada say me I live. Me would only just visit and go back on my yard, but I am in Canada because of the opportunities that are here. And what do? Do I keep it to myself? No, I try to go back and see how I can help a student or two. So if all of us who leave Jamaica decide, say, you know what, me can't help 10, but me can't help 1 or 2 students. If I, when book on sale for 10 cents, make we buy 2 case or 3 case. You know anybody where barrel go down, send down then 2 case a book here. You understand? Of course, opportunities needed in Jamaica. There are opportunities, and sometimes I sit down and see these advertisements. We don't want to farm anymore. And when you go up in the hills and you see them young people that then crisp clothes, and you say, you a farmer? What is so wrong with we need to eat what we grow? There are opportunities in maybe you want to be a doctor, but the opportunity for you is not there. Nope, you can look outside, but there are other areas We need resources, of course. We need it.
Now, young man was left one graduate school out of Alligator Pond, go one of them tech school, they must switch because of the dynamics of how the island is laid out. It will be much more profitable for him to do chickens in Clarendon than it is for him to push produce out of St. Elizabeth, or try to push them same chickens out to St. Elizabeth, because none of the processors are near there, and they would gladly pick up from them, because people don't understand they are giving chickens and feed. They're just saying you go raise them. But no, a lot of people don't want to get their hands dirty. I'm fortunate. I met folks, Jermaine Farmer Black, who him hand them here. They used to work the hotels. Him sister used to do here. She gets more of a sense of life of actually working the land. There's some who, if they actually get together and say, okay, I'm going to use my book knowledge, my marketing expertise, my whatever it is, and combine it with this agriculture. Agritourism is a big thing in Jamaica. Ecotourism is a big thing in Jamaica. It is part of the process. It's also, what is the end product? What is the next step? What is the next value-added product? You can't have fields and fields and fields of cabbage because, all right, the hotel them never take the cabbage. What's the next product? You know, make some cabbage juice. You know, do something else. You can't just be the farmer. You got to start producing something. See, when you have that much space that you can, we drove through St. Elizabeth and parts of Manchester, and food just out there got to waste because somebody wasn't there to take it to that next step. But at the same time, that same Jamaican intuition is in some other foreign land building that food, that sustainable food product someplace else. But because of lack of opportunity to be able to take it and drop it right back into Jamaica without bureaucratic nonsense and BS. Even enough people in a country were geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
But you're tied in by, it's like when I look at a friend of mine that's 25, but he can't go work for the JDF or Coast Guard because them lock off age at 23. So yeah, you'll take your time and go to another country, because with them same skills, they'll still take you up to 34 or 35. I had somebody who was looking at the American military and said, that might take too long. He went to the Foreign Legion and traveled the world for 20 years. And I'm still young. I'm going up, must say 18 or 19 or something. But there's opportunities there that you can't have yourself. Some of us have to bloom where we're planted. I like me who not on a firm grown. I just go tally anywhere my dad. Don't laugh, Carrie, it's the truth. You know?
Yeah, we have to learn to use what we have. And I mean, once you slap Jamaica on anything, worse if it's say made in Jamaica, trust me, it's going to be purchased. Right here in Toronto, where I am, most people, when they go into the store, even if it's a Chinese store, because we have a Chinese supermarket. When I say a lot, as soon as a building shut down, in 2 weeks, no, if no butter, no maybe, it's a Chinese supermarket. And when you go in there, you always have at least 2 or 3 aisles that are Jamaican products. If they're not selling yellow yam, and it this, and it that, and it that, they not make no money. So you find that every store have a Jamaican aisle. Because they want to pull that. So you can imagine if we make stuff and send it out.
It's coming from, if you're talking actual yam, which means that was imported in that week before coming up, which means it could have come from, say, a sunny sky tropical farms right down there in the New Forest, Manchester, on the border of St. Elizabeth.
Everything, breadfruit, everything.
Every blooming thing. Food when we can get.
Everything.
Food, and that means every time you see a piece of that food, it means a Jamaican farmer got paid, a Jamaican transporter got paid, a Jamaican exporter got paid. We don't know who the importer may be,
Mhm.
but it's heading to Jamaican people because some Jamaican people will not do without their food.
That's right.
I don't have that fortune here in Charleston. I'd still have to travel about a half hour, 45 minutes away to go and get that. But for every piece, whether it's the UK, Canada, New York, Florida, Atlanta, pockets of Detroit, for every time you can put your hand on a piece of yellow yam, that's another piece of money that went back into Jamaica.
Yeah,
And
and
some
that's
people aren't looking at it. All our money is in tourism, and enough things still need to come out.
as one person just say that if we don't see that Chinese are taking over, what we have to look at, Chinese are business minded. They are business minded, and they will take the opportunity to operate a business from where even before your parents, my parents. Chinese are, if you do the history, they are business minded. And it's for us to, if we can take a page out of them book, you see, when a Chinese open a grocery store or open a clothing store, whatever, they use the pricing wisely. Because if they you black person over there so sell it for $10, then put it for $8.99 or $9.99, and you're not even realize they are penniless. They know how to do it to get us right into their store. But when we, because of our mind, we want to get rich quick. We want to get rich quick, so we tuck on the prices.
Look at our
The prices on.
babies. Look at our future. Them that board and flag waiver, Here, your prices. Them two there. I just see the two of them small, so they have both now gone to school in Jamaica.
And you see generation, and when my mom used to work at Guinea Tree Supermarket in Clarendon before she passed, that was one back in the days, one of the biggest supermarket. I always sit down and wonder why every week or every 2 months or 3 months you see one different Chinese man or woman. Until I realized, because we have become close to, to speak to. What they do, they're Koreans, they weren't Chinese, but we call everybody Chinese, right? We call everybody, Miss Chin?
Everybody's Chinese.
They come in and they help teach them the ropes. And they move maybe to another parish or somewhere in Clarendon or somewhere, open another. Then somebody else come in. They teach them the ropes. We not help with one another. We tear down with one another. Let me talk you with that. We tear down with one another. Why can't a woman help another woman? Why can't I help Kerry? Because Kerry go get big position at Jamaica now. So my girl, you can't talk to me no more. Brenda, she all over social media. So she can't talk to me.
I told her I told her I walk on man and pick the me have pain. So no got
No, but what I'm saying is that we have to develop that culture where we look out for our own. Yes, when you look here, the Indian population is very large in Ontario, especially in the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. The Indian population and listen, it's when you see one house, you may see 30 of them come out of one house, but 6 months down the line, each and one of them own their own place. But we cannot come together and live together and say, all right, this is what we are going to do. No, we tear down the crab in a barrel mentality. We have to stop. So we will talk about the Chinese taking over, but they're helping each other. They have their difficulties and stuff, but they're helping their own.
Old time Jamaican, first time Jamaican. All right. When we first start migrate, we always have a little couch room, a little couch, a little whatever. Right now, nowadays, and we know say you come and stay for a minute, because we don't know where you're going to go just yet. If we could have anything, we'd hook up the day's work with somebody else, so I know say you are going to mind this one you're pitting, or we are going to make sure so we have a piece of something where you can work with that carpenter man there and keep busy until you work yourself in your system. Nowadays, if somebody will come up and be like, hold up, you got like 2 weeks to stay here and you got to do whatever. But we're not introducing people from the get-go, from down there. So how to apply for positions, what positions to apply to, what cities to be in, how to maneuver through these cities. Some will say, oh, I'm not code switching. We do know that Jamaicans know the English language. It's just that simple. Doesn't matter if you come from Bakawal country or what. Because by the time you're done bust twang upon them, it sounds so wonderfully Jamaican while you spoke in English that they're just enamored with you. And we can get in and anywhere. But there seems to be this shift in how the preparation is to come to America and what to do when you get here. Many don't seem to have a plan. Some are in stalemate. You wait for the visa date. Well, what you do in the meantime while you wait for the visa date? Because you can't look for come up and just sit down. Because I've personally seen a young man where a family didn't have a plan. I come outside, you sitting on the stoop. Your homeboy, you lucky it's me. If police see you at this age, you're supposed to be in school. But because everybody that's there is focused on them going to their job and then just know, say, all right, me bring him up. You bring them up, but what are you going to do with them? You got to have a plan. I don't care what country it is you bring young adults to. Because a lot of the mindset is even when you bring up Jamaican teenagers anywhere, to them a pitney. Jamaican teenagers put into foreign situations are adults because they've been living a Jamaican life. Unless you've had them unbelievably sheltered, they are adults who have been managing homes and households and budgets and the whole nine, and we have to give them that credit where it's due. And we have to learn that how we have them approach the educational system in the various countries, and not everybody has $1,500 for diploma conversion. So I understand, yes, some are going to have to take their time and go do the GED, do it with a smile. Knock it the heck out and go ahead and go on in and get them college classes. Because if you get them if you come in with the grades that you know you got, then you don't have to have this crazy battle. We're all trying to figure out ways to still live, whether it's in Jamaica, in America, in Canada. This thing affects us all. Some are gonna laugh because at least once a week, me I want river in front of my street. Yes, but I foreign me live. I'm still I forgot you that the dirty water that for do whatever. You know, we all live in different situations. I live in one room, and I've been in this one room now for 11 years, and it serves its purpose. From this room, I can go out there, go visit people and see the world and find out things and learn things because I'm inquisitive. That's why I can ask Carrie, now that you're in it, you're walking out of the system, you're working in Jamaica after returning from the United States. After returning from Trinidad and Tobago, what is it like to be working in Jamaica?
It's this for this aspect of it. It's really a dream come true. Sometimes I'm still wondering if I'm really there, because from how young I wanted to be in the position that I am in right now. So it's still like, is it really real for real? But like I said, I just started out and just trying to, feel it out, because you have to feel out the place right now, because been around the world, working different places, meet different people, you get to understand what people are like. And as I think it's Jerome in the comment was saying that Jamaicans are a set of bad mind people. It's not just in Jamaica where I've been to work, I've seen it. So I've come back with this whole wealth of knowledge, and just I don't know how to say it. Like, you just have to be on your P's and Q's and be careful in things that you say, what you say, and who you say it to, because not everybody has the same passion like you. My passion is a different passion with early childhood. I sleep, dream, eat everything early childhood. People don't understand that. People don't understand. I don't let it feel the same way. And I'm just here getting the experience, trying to see how it's gonna be like first. I've just gone what 1 full month now in the system, so I don't
She's
already have a
got
lot to
employment
say.
in Jamaica. Because I know people, listen, as much as many people say, boy, more and left your son go up, so you know. I've met people or they've been in my inbox. How can I move to Jamaica? I get those questions. What can I do down there to survive? And part of it is we have to encourage, and I know one or two who have gone to Jamaica and become part of Jamaica, meaning they're employed by a company there, as
Yeah.
opposed to going down and say, all right, I'm going to hold for me local kind of yes and start a business and see if we can eat off of this.
But in all honesty, Miss Brenda, I didn't know how it was gonna work out because people would tell me, "Say we are come back a yard for nothing they a yard fit do," and I had to keep praying because I told God if I come back here, it's one job alone I'm coming back to do, and it's to
And look,
impact the nation's children working with that company.
and look what God
And
can do. No, Nadine.
Mine is my passion is the same thing like you, Carrie.
Okay, now I'd cut you off before when you said you were finishing up your degree.
Yeah.
Finish the
And so
sentence.
so I'm finishing my early childhood studies, my bachelor's. Hopefully, I'll go on to the masters. You know, your brain I get old, but I mean, you got to do what you gotta do in early childhood studies. This is my passion because if we can impact the early years, society will change. When you have persons like Kerry and myself and others who have a passion to work in the early learning environment, and we can help our children to steer them in the right direction from early, some mindset and some things that they think about. Because guess what? Person don't understand that environment is a third teacher, because your parents is the first, but you see the environment that you live in, it changes. But us as early educators, we have to set an environment for these kids because they're going to spend most of their day with us, right? So when we impact them from that early stage, just when they grow up in a teen, their mindset are going to change because their mindset, they're thinking critically, they're thinking, and people are saying, they know them so. No, because what? Look at my little one. She come yesterday and tell me, Mommy, come let me teach you how to spin scissors on your finger. Like, and of course it's one of those child safe scissors, you know, those.
Yeah, but your TV grow one foot since she got Jamaica.
You're talking about me?
Yes, I'm talking about you.
How have your babies flourished since they've been in Jamaica? What has been the impact of living in Jamaica on your babies?
Living in Jamaica, this one, she won't go back. She won't go back. Mommy, am I going back to Jamaica? I mean, it does something for her because, let me go back to early childhood in Canada. We are big on play. They learn through play. Play is important. So it being in daycare here, because they don't start school until 4. Well, in Toronto, in Ontario, they don't start to school until 4. And that's where they go to kindergarten. So it's pretty much like basic school, but they still learn to play, right? So everything they do is geared around play. Now, she got that good hang of play. Going to Jamaica for what? Almost 6 months. I think this child just evolved. She totally evolved because yes, she's playing, but she also got the aspect of guided learning, because in Jamaica, we're big on guided learning. Not that Jamaican kids don't play. They play and put them against these Canadians. They can't play, but they learn. And let me tell you, I am so proud of my child. She's in school. She went to school for 4 or 5 months. And my child went to school at age 3 and something. She left Jamaica right after she turned 4. She can write her name. She may not write it in line, but she write it across the page. Me hear she a sing this. Me hear she count up to 5 in a Spanish. Me hear she a say her days of the week and she because Jamaica we come on and she mature. Some question when me hear she asked me like she went somewhere last week Sunday and she asked the lady, why is tattoo on your body? And the lady had to explain everything, all the tattoos on her. So my child have learned the breath of fresh air in Jamaica. May I tell her it did wonders for her. Sorry for when she got school because you know how it is for them to help her. They probably going to tell me say we have to put her in a special class because she have ADD and attention deficit. So, but here am I ready to talk. Me ready to talk.
And that's how it comes. Carrie, how feel one change?
Being home so far with her, it's been an experience. Like I said, it's different now having family around. She's more comfortable. She's free. She has a place.
We're doing the super independent, both working parents going back. Well, fortunately, she was at your school with you in South Carolina, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But y'all was still doing the super independent parents of no relatives around whatsoever in America.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that makes a big difference right now, having the family there with her. She's still not enrolled here as yet. So I guess when September comes, I'll have a different story to tell when that happens. But in her online program that she's doing, like I said, she's doing pretty well. She has 2 half-an-hour sessions. She has opened up more because I couldn't homeschool anymore. I had to get her in a program because it was frustrating me and it was frustrating her. And she needed to see some children around. She needed to see some faces. So you know that really did something for her, seeing all these other kids online, and it's just like I said, 2 half-an-hour sessions, and they're learning through play. They do have the structured story time and their circle time sessions and stuff like that, and then they have activities they can do throughout the day. So even though they finish early, they still have other things they can do throughout the day. So it's good, and she has space to roam.
Because that was my next question. What was the impact of having all these mango trees and bean palm? Well, I saw Nadine's daughter in action. Trust me, I saw Cassie in action, and trying to keep up. But she had to. From the time you touch them gate, all you do is pick and eat, and I did. Wasn't no time to wash it off. Just brush off.
Environment is different, man. It's different. Yes. It's not like when you're in the schools over there, you're locked up in the classroom all day, and you have to lock the doors with the key in case intruders come in. You're home, and you're free. Even when I was teaching here, my classroom door was open, my windows were open, I could see outside.
The whole environment did a lot for Casey, because you can go out and although the school system is structured, yes, but at home, because we went down in winter, right? So you know that December to, although the hour per day, depending on the temperature when you're here, the kids will go outside or not in winter. However, for her to be outside, she grew because that physical development, she was able to run around, climb tree, climb the gate, climb the veranda grill, and carry on. And as morning light, she wake up. And as night, is it night? Do I have to go to bed?
Yes.
Right? And then, so that activity, risky play, her grandmother said, no, make she climb up there so she'll go fall off. No, make the child explore. Don't we usually drop? Don't we usually buck off with toe? We ain't dead. But it did a lot. I can tell you.
Culture is different. Culture is different. Because she couldn't get to swing on the gate when she over there. My own come home doing the same thing, to climbing on the grill and swinging all over the place.
Grill swinging sweet, I'm having good memories. Grill swinging real sweet.
But Miss Brenda and Miss Nadine, I will have to cut it short. We'll have to do this another evening.
I thought, well, hey, I am blessed enough to catch educators on a not even know what on a Sunday night. Come on the morning, because the teacher has to go out work tomorrow.
Yes, and I have to go study for my sociology exam tomorrow.
Yes. And they
See?
have to do what? What may I have to do?
Nothing.
I'm with excuse me. I'm with the Antigua Barbuda group
You
tomorrow
can't say
out
this
of
lady not going to do
Philadelphia.
nothing. Is the busiest woman I've ever met.
Hey, because we're
Can I tell
winding
you?
down Caribbean American month just because
Connecting the dots across the
connecting the
The
dots
diaspora.
across the
diaspora.
diaspora. But that's when you say, watch this. Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Aruba, Barbados, Belize, Bermuda, Bonaire, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Cuba, Curacao, Dominica, Dominican Republic, French Guiana, Grenada, Guadeloupe, Haiti, Jamaica, Martinique, Montserrat, Nueva Esparta, Puerto Rico, Saba, Saint Eustachio, Saint Bartholomew, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, Saint Martin, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, Turks and Caicos, U.S. Virgin Islands, Mexican Caribbean. We need to go island hopping.
No,
Big
that
up
is
yourself
the
in Caribbean
social studies
American
teacher
month.
right there, the geography social studies teacher
Right?
right there. Hats off to her, eh?
Right?
Miss Brenda, it was a
Oh, it was
pleasure
a
to sit
pleasure.
in the seats with
It was a
Nadine.
pleasure.
I thank you.
We will do it
See, we
again.
finally got it done. We
All
all
right.
ended up on the island the same time. We split up, but
I
we still one.
know.
We are
We
our
soon come
one.
back, Terry. We soon come back.
We still make yes.
Soon
We
come.
soon, honey, you know me. Honey, hey.
Good night, Brenda.
Night,
Cause
night.
we're not stop here now, done.